Most of that damage is in this Winoka area. Just take a look at this roof. It is barely hanging on the side of that building, but it was actually just reported this past week. Behind me, you may hear it and you definitely see it. There's a lot more people here at the Capitol at 6 p.m. than there was yesterday. You're rushing into work or you're rushing into a building, so you don't have a whole lot of time. So in turn, you're forgetting to check whether your car is unlocked. Jillian, Kevin, I can tell you these flames, they are moving and they are moving fast. All around us, you can see these massive clouds of smoke. Kevin, lawmakers need 76 votes in order for this to pass. Right now, we're just not there. At last check, that vote stands at 63-35. But take a look right behind me through those doors. For about 2 hours today, both Republicans and Democrats, they debated and they questioned this bill. And a very emotional day for the family of Jaron Moreland. Now, they were here as police were combing through this property that's right behind us. It's about 300 acres, and I am told it is possible that one of the suspects' parents own it. Very graphic and very difficult to hear at times. We heard from a total of 6 different people inside of that courtroom today. In this case, that body camera was actually flown off during the fight. She's talking about metal detectors just like these. Walk through it, and it can pick up things just like your cell phone or even weapons. We also reached out to the daycare center for a comment. They referred us back to DHS, but did add that they do believe they took care of the situation. Dramatic body cam video brought into question at a court hearing Friday where a judge decided this man, Sergeant Keith Sweeney, will go to trial for fatally shooting Dustin Pigeon, a man prosecutors say was unarmed and suicidal.
99% plus of the officers who are out there on the street working hard every day do the right thing every single time. This is one of those situations where we allege that did not occur.
Sweeney has pleaded not guilty to 1 count of second-degree murder. District Attorney David Prater says the jury will have another option at trial.
A second-degree murder charge which carries 10 to life, or the manslaughter charge which carries 4 to life. The distinction is not only in punishment, it's also in culpability and in the behavior of the defendant.
Police were called to a home on the southwest side in November. Officer Eric Howell, who responded that night with Sergeant Sweeney and Officer Troy Nitsky, testified Friday Pigeon was trying to hurt himself, holding a lighter and lighter fluid in his hands. Howell told the court he personally did not feel there was any threat to himself. Around the same time, a less lethal beanbag shotgun was used. Prosecutors say Sweeney also fired, but using his pistol.
How many times have we had officer-involved shootings in the Oklahoma City Police Department that are not charged? And I don't think they should be charged. That's what I'm saying. Why is this case being looked at differently than any other case?
Gary James is representing Sweeney. In court Friday, he argued Howell's memory could have been clouded given the high-stress incident and that his testimony may not have spoken for how Sweeney saw the situation.
I've handled hundreds of officer-involved shootings, and it's very rare that any officer sees it the same as the other officers.
A message from teachers and supporters. Heard loud and clear from nearly every floor of the Capitol on Tuesday in day 2 of the walkout. But inside the House chambers, tension when House Democrats attempted to bring up a capital gains bill but were unsuccessful.
If the sergeants and the troopers will please clear the gallery.
We were excited about it. Somebody was finally standing up for us to be heard.
Representative Eric Proctor says the repeal of the capital gains exemption has the support from House Democrats. We asked why it wasn't being heard.
It's a very select few group of people that are going to be paying the tax, and they tend to be on the more wealthy end of the income spectrum. And so you've probably got a lot of legislators that maybe have promised that they wouldn't get rid of the exemption on capital gains.
House Floor Leader John Echols says the bill will not move forward this session.
It's hard to imagine a more volatile funding source other than capital gains. And to have an entire program that is based on House Bill 1010, 50% of the revenue came from oil and gas. And then to attempt to increase that with another volatile funding source like capital gains, it's just bad public policy.
But some took their frustrations from inside the Capitol straight to social media with a message for teachers.
You're losing support of people who supported you all year long. All year long, we supported you. And now you're going to come here and act like this after you got a raise? Go right ahead. Be pissed at me if you want to.
Representative Kevin McDougal says he regrets posting that video without clarifying why he was frustrated.
I still will support our teachers, but I cannot support the kind of behavior that we're seeing here at the Capitol. We've got folks that are blocking legislators' doors and vandalism in the parking lots, what I was told this morning. We've had several legislators that have received death threats.
We were doing what we are allowed to do. We were freedom of speech, and we were not being disrespectful. We were not rowdy. We were not out of control. The House disrespected our profession today. They disrespected teachers, and we were letting that be known.
You're going to go this way. There you go. See, you can tell how old it is. Count the rings.
Gene Collins Holdaway calls that sound memories in the making. Families flocking to our Christmas tree lot, all pine products, to get their pick.
Most popular is the Virginia pine, and then we do have some Scotch pine that we grow.
The demand for trees comes at a time trees themselves are running on a shortage. Collins Holdaway says this year they've ordered about 100 fewer pre-cut trees shipped from Michigan and Oregon. They take about 10 years to grow. There were fewer planted during the recession in 2007, meaning those pines could now be pricier. There's also the cost to maintain them.
We use a sunscreen that we put on the Christmas trees to keep them a dark green so they look pretty in your house. Well, the cost of that is ridiculous.
The average pre-cut tree at this Yukon farm starts at about $95. Go bigger and taller, you might find yourself forking over $145. That's an overall 10% hike. Some say they're worth it.
Just the smell of them is better than the pine trees. These are cedars, I think, and they smell better.
While others make it a family affair from top to bottom.
In the store, you have to carry boxes to get in the car, and then out here, you just pick out the tree and cut it down.